Hey everybody, Bob Snyder here, driving down the road again, and today I want to talk about the 5 phases of Renatus digression and what that means. Phase number 1. Now this is really the first phase and the best phase and the phase that individuals need to stay in, and that is what we call the business building mode. That's right, business building mode. That's when you're engaged fully in money-making activities. You wake up every day with an attitude of gratitude, and you are ready to go out and share this incredible business and its opportunity with the world. And you're engaged in the 4 money-making activities, which are see the people, tell the story, build for events, and follow through. As you continue in that mode, you'll find that results will follow. Why? Because the right kinds of actions lead to the right kinds of results. So as you're moving forward to expand your business, build your team, do your real estate deals, and make money marketing the Renatus educational systems, well, good news is you stay in that mode, and the results will continue to be more consistent. Here's what happens to a lot of folks, though. Instead of staying in phase 1, they have a tendency to slip into phase 2. Why? Because they start to get a little bit of a team or an organization under their belt, and they think to themselves, woo, good I got these 3 or 4 people on my team, because now I got to give my time and energy and efforts to them. I can't be going out there and prospecting for myself. And I know we've talked about some of this before, but maybe not in this context. What happens is they slip into what we call the management mode. That's phase 2. Management mode, that's where they want to manage their team, they want to manage their business. They want to be about the business of busy work rather than engaged in money-making activities. And they have a tendency to fool themselves too. They go in to set up their home office, and they think to themselves, all right, man, I'm going to get this done. We're going to make this work. I want this to be the right work environment, so I need to make sure that everything is in its proper order. And they sit down and they go, okay, all right, man, what do I need here? Oh, I've got to get my computer up and running. I probably need to research some software programs. That's right. Yeah, I gotta figure out some calendaring programs. I gotta figure out some different things like that, rather than just dive into Helios, because it's all there for you. They think to themselves, okay, I need to make sure that I got a good headset for my cell phone. Oops. Boy, I can't make phone calls with this headset. I know I was going to make calls tonight, but this headset just will not do. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't have the volume control that I need, and it doesn't have a mute button on the side that's easily accessible. So I got to run down to the store and get myself a headset. See, what happens is in the management mode, we have a tendency to trick ourselves. We are getting ready to get ready, or we are, encumbering ourselves with busy work, or managing a team that really isn't large enough and dedicated enough to even manage. And those are the things that take you out of money-making activities, and you will see your results and your income slip. Matter of fact, they'll start to slide, and they'll slide in the wrong direction. Don't slip into the management mode. Don't fool yourself into thinking that you are working this business to death, because you'll find out you may be right, but it's only in your own mind, right? Let's go to phase 3 here. Individuals who are in the management mode for very long, they have a tendency to slip into what we call phase 3, justification. See, they don't want to be wrong. They want to start, they want to make sure that individuals know they got a plan, and they're working their plan, and they're going to be just fine, because they're pretty smart, and they're smarter than the guys that are up there in the front of the room teaching at Super Saturdays and driving the markets. I mean, they have a better way. So these folks start to justify their inaction or their inactivity. They start to justify the management they have of teams that aren't big enough or dedicated enough to manage. They start to justify all of these things so that it continues to take them on that negative downward spiral. Stay in that mode for very long, you're not making any money, you're generally struggling. You start to deal with some embarrassment about the lack of results that you're getting because you strayed away from money-making activities. Individuals who stay in justification for very long, they slip into what we call phase 4. That is blame. Blame. That's when blame transference plays an active role in their business. They want to blame everything. They want to blame everybody. They want to blame their 1-star. They want to blame their 5-star. These guys didn't help me. They didn't train me. They didn't work with me. They want to blame, their pack member or their pit team member. They should be looking out for me. They ought to be, holding my hand. They ought to be helping me close business. They want to blame them for not being available more. They want to blame the company. Well, if the company had this tool, or if the company provided this service, or if the company had this kind of a class, holy smokes, I could be successful. They want to blame the economy. Either the economy's booming and it's just not working for them, or it's faltering and going into recession and depression, and boy, who could possibly, have success in that environment? They want to blame alien beings from another planet. They play the blame game, and blame transference is their mantra. They wear it on their sleeve, and they become so negative and so encumbered by that blame game that nobody wants to associate with them, and people certainly are never going to want to do business with them. Individuals who stay in phase 4 in the blame game for very long, they slide into phase 5. Phase 5, exit. They have a tendency to just fade away. We don't see them anymore. Sometimes they go right into the witness protection program. You can't get them because they see you calling in on caller ID, and they don't want to deal with the shame or the regret or the disappointment or maybe the anger because they're still in the blame game. So they don't want to confront that. They just want to ignore you, and they just fade away, and we don't see them anymore. Think about some of the folks that you've seen in the business, that were actively involved for a time, and then little by little, they went into the management mode, then they went into justification, then they slid into the blame mode, and then pretty soon, you haven't seen them or heard from them in the longest time. They're just gone. Now, I will tell you this. In this modern day and age that we live in with the internet and all the social media, there is a 6th phase as well. Number 6. Blog. See, sometimes it's true that individuals may leave Renatus, but they won't leave Renatus alone. And they want to go out there and voice their experience and their displeasure to the whole world. They want everybody to know it wasn't that they failed themselves, it was that the system failed them. It wasn't that they failed, it was that their 1-star and their 5-star affiliates failed them, or their leaders failed them, or the community failed them, or the real estate education failed them, or the company failed them. They want the world to know they are a victim. Sound familiar? I'm sure you've met some of these individuals. I'm sure you've experienced some of these situations. The reason why I share this with you today, because, I've shared it in the past, but every once in a while we need a little bit of a refresher course, is because we have the ability to self-govern, hold ourselves accountable, be self-reliant, a lot of self-words there. If we're really smart about what we do and how we're building our business, we will do an evaluation of our business on a regular basis and determine what phase we're in. Are we in the business building mode? If you are, stay focused, man. You're doing a great job. You're right where you need to be. Are we slipping into the management mode where, we're really spinning our wheels, we're not engaged in money-making activities, and we've decided to rely on others for our success? Have we moved into justification where we now are starting to justify our inactivity and our inability to focus in money-making activities? Or have we slipped into blame and we find ourselves wanting to play the role of victim? See, if you recognize it, you can change it. If you recognize it, you can do something about it. And you also will come to understand that those folks that may be working with you and pointing out what phase you're in are doing it for your own good, and you won't be so critical or angry or resentful with them. Recognize where you're at, and if you are in any other phase, the number 1, the business building mode, then correct. Reassess, realign, and re-engage.